So it is actually playable. Now, I'm actually using an Australian account to access this a little bit early, as it will become available for people in North America like me later today. But I wanted to check out a little bit early, so I'm here on my Australian account. We're going to check out the Splatfest demo, at least what we can check out now, since the whole thing actually isn't playable yet. But we're definitely going to check out what is available at this moment. So here at the start, it's going to ask you what region you want to play in. It's going to check. It's going to say Americas because it can detect that, well, because of my IP address, I'm here in America, despite me using my Australian account. I'm going to choose Americas. This is something that can't be changed. So if you choose a different region to play a different region Splatfest, you are locked into whatever region you chose. So choosing Americas for me just means that later I will just not have to choose it again. Fine, whatever. So then we get into what pretty much looks exactly like the original opening they used to reveal Splatoon 3. However, it does differ a little bit. We get some of the scenery around here, and then, of course, we get into the actual customization. Now, this, I've been spending some time today trying to decide if I wanted to have an Octoling or Inkling again. I think I am going to use an Octoling again, at least for the time being. It may change. I may go back to an Inkling. I don't know. I base it mostly off the designs. I like the designs of the Octolings a bit more than the designs of the Inklings. And then there's a whole lot more color choices when it comes to the eyes. And I had seen some videos over the course of the day of all this stuff. I definitely like this blue and then this like teal. These definitely look like the best ones. I think I'm going to go with this one personally. And then the hairstyle. This is, it allows you to choose between the girl and boy hairstyles that the Octolings had. I think, I don't know, I kind of like this one. This one looks alright. And the eyebrows is also a new one. I really don't mind. I don't really care for a lot of these. I mean, this one just makes him look evil. I think I'm just going to go with the second choice. And then, of course, there's a few more options for the pants. Like you get this one with the little stripes on it. I think I'm just going to stick with the skirt and the shorts. A pretty basic design, but oh well. And then we get to do Little Buddy, who only has a slight bit of customization to him. We get to see some different hairstyles that he gets to rock. This one I think is really funny. This very much screams like a Karen to me. Like Little Buddy is just a Karen here to see the Octolings manager. I think I'm going to go with this one just because this hairstyle, I like that look a whole lot more. And then, yeah, we're just good to go. And then I like how it immediately transitions here into the actual tutorial. As opposed to like the previous two games where you would design your character in this like non-existent space and then it would load into the tutorial. This being built into it actually is really cool. The sensitivity is definitely going to have to get changed. This is not the sense I'm used to playing with. Especially the stick sense. I'm used to much faster stick sense than this. And then an interesting thing to note here is they actually changed it to say swim form instead of squid form to be more accurate to the fact there's Octolings now. Then here it looks like Little Buddy found something. And this is where we get our Splattershot Jr. Then we actually get to shoot. And then follow all along. So the squid roll right here is done by flicking an input with the stick and then jumping. So flick inputs like how you would if you're trying to like substrafe, how you do that instant flick with the stick to move. That's what you do for the squid surge, is to just flick directions on the stick while pressing B. The lower sense is throwing me off a little bit here with my turns. So far, the tutorial area hasn't really done anything different, but it's fine. The tutorial area doesn't really need to do anything different. And then here it transitions to, again, another thing we saw from the initial reveal. We get to see the little train that picks up your character. And then this scene, which is pretty much lifted one-to-one from the trailer itself. And here we are, the Splatfest world premiere. Like I said, I'm doing this before anything actually goes live, so unfortunately, the entirety of the demo isn't available, and actually won't be available when it becomes like playable in a sense for even like the people in North America. It unlocks at 9 p.m. Pacific today on Wednesday. For, well, people like me on the West Coast, it'll be 9 p.m. This demo doesn't include everything. Unfortunately, it doesn't include everything, and I'll go a bit more into that once we get to it. But here we get right into the news broadcast. Now, this is forced to see this. I'm pretty sure that this is only because the demo itself. I don't expect the news to be forced like this, at least unless there's a Splatfest, then it might have the forced news like this. But I imagine when the game actually comes out, the news reports are you're going to immediately transition into being in Splatsville, and then the news report will come up on your phone and you can opt to watch it. But for the demo and probably Splatfest's sake, it's forced. And then of course we get to see the theme that everyone knows is going to be happening. And I really like the 3-team idea. I think it's a good way, and it sort of solves a lot of the problems people had with like it being very obvious that like one team is going to win because of how often you would play against your own team, things like that. Having 3 teams definitely makes it a lot trickier to really pinpoint what team is going to be the most popular. So I actually really like this idea. And of course, like I mentioned before, I am going to be on Team Scissors. So if there are people that want to possibly play with me, you would want to choose Scissors. Or if you want to play against me, then you don't want to choose that. I am going to be streaming the actual Splatfest when it happens at 9 a.m. on Saturday, my time, Pacific. So noon Eastern, and then 11 a.m. Central. So check out my stream. Link will be in the description if you want to watch me play and watch me mess around with stuff. And then that's it. At least for the news, that's all we get. And then, boom, here we are. And immediately, it already looks like there's a lot happening here. There's quite a bit of stuff around us. Now, we get people that are probably just going to be a bunch of high and first and all that, but we're going to want to choose our team first. And like I said, we're going to go Scissors. And then with choosing the team, we now have the gear. So we actually get access to quite a bit of gear, so you can swap around to see what type of abilities you want to mess with while you play the actual Splatfest itself. You have them for the headgear. The clothes you get locked to only, obviously, the Splatfest tee. You don't really get any options there. And then we get some options for the boots as well. So this will actually be nice because then you aren't forced into wearing like Special Saver and Ink Recovery the entirety of the Splatfest when they do nothing for you or they might not be good for your build. Now you have options. Fantastic. It'll be fun. And then of course we also get to see the weapons. We have the actual weapons, which are probably, I imagine at this point, their final designs and final kits. And a lot of these kits are actually pretty exciting, and they actually aren't bad. Like, some of these kits are actually really good, and I'm really interested in a lot of these kits. Like, the Splatana has a good kit, the Stringer has a good kit. Like, I'm actually impressed. that Nintendo gave both the Ink Brush and Octobrush good sets. Both of these are really good. Pretty much all of these, I would say, are relatively good kits. Some of them don't seem like too fantastical, like the Aerospray kit. I can see the Fizzy being good for it. A lot of these are still going to be messing with because we don't know how exactly different or same a lot of these are, so it'll still be up to trying them out. But for the time being, we can choose a weapon. This is where an unfortunate part comes in. You'll notice that there is no test or any way to mess with the weapon. The eShop page mentions that there was going to be a test range. It is in the game, however, it is going to be tied to the online component, which is not active. Because they started implementing more of the online space into the test range itself is actually locked into the online service. So while the test range is technically available in the game, because the online service isn't available yet, we can't go in. So my plan to do streams where I'd gather frame data can't happen anymore. We gotta wait, and by the time it is playable, I won't want to do that. I want to actually be playing the game. So that's a bit of a bummer to not actually be able to test any of the weapons, but oh well, we get to at least see the kits, which was a thing a lot of people were. There's a lot of people speculating, or at least there were, on what type of kits they're going to be. And then a lot of like looking at really blurry images to try and guess. But I'm happy to see that both brushes got really good kits. So I'm excited for it. That's weird that it says the maps and modes were updated, even though it's not playable. I did actually briefly show it, so I'll bring it up again. This menu. So this menu looks very similar. However, a lot of the actual stuff got changed. So you can see the shops on the side, like the lobby square, the crater, the shoal, and Grisco. Then here we actually get to see the rotations, which is interesting because, again, this isn't actually playable. Here it looks like Anarchy Open is always Rainmaker, and Series is always Splat Zones. And the Turf War is always Scorch Gorge and Eeltail Alley. Again, these are probably just random placeholders, and then especially because Salmon Run has literally nothing. The status, you got our gear, the catalog, which it says to go to a Hotlantis to get it. I don't think it's available. I think the shops don't work either. Our ability chunks, where we get to see a look at all of these. You can see that some of them have like a weird glow to them now. We see intensify action, and most importantly, main power up is nowhere in sight. Thank the Lord. Table Turf Battle. This was a thing that I was interested in. A Game Explained video earlier from today did confirm that while this will only be versus AI at launch, PvP will be coming. So that's something I was concerned about it being just against AI. Not nearly as fun as challenging random people, but it's good to know at least that's coming. And then the settings, of course. I'm not going to mess with these right now because I don't intend to use this version of the game to play, but I'm definitely going to crank up the sensitivity. Well, I said I'm not going to do it, but here I am doing it anyway. That's more like it. So now let's take a look around, because the lobby space itself is actually significantly bigger than both in Splatoon 1 and 2. Now let's actually see what happens if we go into a shop. I imagine either it's not going to work. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I imagine we would get told that we're not high enough level. I wonder if they'll actually allow you to really level up in the demo and then actually go in and buy stuff. Here's where we can post some art. I'm not creative enough to make any sort of post right now. The Let's Freaking Go. That's pretty good. Splatoon 3. Everyone's excited. Get some more looks at everything. That's a lot of text. There's just so much happening here. There's so much to see. Scissors for the win. Respect. That guy is wearing... Oh, that's probably a gear I could have chosen. I just didn't pay attention. But it definitely looks like it's very much a city in development, especially with all the stuff for the Splatfest they have sitting around. There's so much space out here. Like, I wonder if all of this empty area... Well, not really empty. It's full of people. But I wonder if all this space is actually going to be utilized in the full game. or if a lot of this is just here to have areas to explore, which is fine. A lot of exploration. I mean, it's both both areas in the prior games have been pretty bland, with just acting as a walkway to the actual modes and stuff you wanted to play. So here, having a bit more exploration is actually kind of fun, even if it doesn't really do a whole lot. What I would like to see them do, though, is maybe if in the final game the table turf opponents are spread around, so like you could challenge people, like random NPCs that hang about, you could challenge them. That would be cool. That would be another way to fill up the area, give you something to look for, try and find. I respect that. A lot of Among Us posts. That's really good. That's a really good drawing. Oh, I found dude. All right. And we got merch here who probably won't do anything for us. Yeah, come back at level 4. Kind of understandable. We get some more people, some more drawings. That's a little extreme. Is this... Oh. I wonder what that's for. Can I jump on this? Yes, I can. I really like this. That looks really cool. Cut man. Nice. And then, yeah, I figured this wouldn't do anything. Add some more art. Oh, that's the same person who overreacted. But yeah, there's quite a bit happening over here. Another Among Us. Wait, so you can I can say it's fresh just by looking at it. That's pretty cool. And then I guess to top off, because like I said, unfortunately there isn't a whole lot we can do right now. We'll see what happens if we try to go up to the actual tower. This is where you would go in to actually have the test range, is in the tower itself, and you'll see it a little bit when we get in here. When we load in, and it says no Splatfest in session right now, if you actually look, you can see that this is actually the test range, and all of the lobby system is right here in the test range. But because the Splatfest isn't in session, the online service isn't actually active, we can't access any of it, and it just simply boots us out. So unfortunately, what would have been fun to test and mess around with the weapons, and in my case, do those streams where I would have gathered frame data, can't happen. But it is definitely, I really like how much stuff is going on here. There's definitely a lot happening, and the space is actually pretty well used. There's a lot to look at. And I'm super excited for this. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of footage come out from people that are previously under NDA. So I've been watching a lot of that stuff today. But yeah, there will definitely be videos coming on this for sure. So if you're interested in seeing some specifically Octobrush and Inkbrush gameplay, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. I generally don't say this sort of stuff, but I would greatly appreciate people that checked it out to stick around if you want to see some brush gameplay. Check out my stream in the description. Like I said, I'm going to be streaming once it goes up on Saturday. Going to be primarily playing the brushes, but we'll definitely be checking out as many things as I can. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.